Hello everyone, I'm Rich Nation.
And I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi, and this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, May 12th. On today's show, Terry Colath will tell us about an academy class on art and the aging brain. And we'll feature this year's campaign chair for the Employee Christmas Fund Drive, Kathy Miskell, who gave us some insight into her own personal life outside of Shell Point.
But first, we want to remind you that this afternoon is the time for the Colusa Heritage Trail presentation. Come learn about Florida's natural history from Cindy Baer of the Randall Research Center. The program begins at 1:15 in the Social Center. And another social event is coming tomorrow at 2:15. It's the Singles Ice Cream Social, where, you guessed it, at the Social Center. It's the perfect place to make your own ice cream sundae while making new friendships as well. There will also be a brief discussion about a future singles group activity, so come on out. And finally, another ice cream opportunity is coming to the Larson Pavilion on Thursday. You can tour the rehab center and learn more about skilled nursing while enjoying a delicious scoop of Love Boat homemade ice cream. For more information, contact Randa Lee at 415-5432.
Is your brain healthy? Do you exercise? Great. Are you getting the proper nutrition in your diet? Wonderful. These are essential to good brain health. But what about creativity? Today, Terry Colath learns how being creative can benefit the aging brain.
Hi, I'm Terry Colath, and I'm here with a special guest, Angel Duncan. She's going to do a program in our academy this summer, and she comes to us from the Neuropsychiatric Research Center of Southwest Florida. In addition to being a clinician, she is a director of education. And with us, we're going to talk about the psychological implications of art on the aging brain. And don't let that big title fool you. Art, A-R-T, a simple word. Thanks for joining us, Angel.
Thank you for having me.
I love talking to you to find out what the fine arts can do for us as we age, because it seems like, everybody's telling us exercise, eat vegetables, do these certain things. And to think of something that's pure pleasure that we can do for our brains is very exciting.
Yes, exercising is definitely crucial for the brain health, as well as, of course, nutrition and diet. But a lot of times people forget that doing things creative. There's a lot of validating research currently showing the benefits of how creativity helps with the scientific artistic brain. The fact of just being able to paint a picture, draw, and you don't have to be an artist. Absolutely not. The whole idea, especially in art therapy, is the process.
The creative process, creating something.
Yeah. Who cares what it looks like? It's all about just enjoying the moment.
Fabulous. Now tell me, you've shared some interesting things about the brain and music and slices of brain. Share that with us.
Yeah, so being at the Research Center, we specialize in clinical trials for Alzheimer's disease, and one of the things that we sponsored was the movie Alive Inside about music and memory. And through research and through conversations, somebody had a wonderful analogy saying that if we were to take about 100 brains, including Einstein's, slices of them, and you had one musician, and you put them all on a tray, and the physician comes in and looks at it, he would be able to pick out who the musician was just because of the structure of that.
Fabulous. So actually making music is good for your brain too, and listening to it?
Listening to music. Dr. Sheriff actually, quote unquote, prescribes music. He, in addition to, as we're trying to feverishly find effective treatments for this disease that's taking over, there's things you need to do to keep active, and that is, putting on some headphones, spending about 45 minutes to an hour just listening to music that you enjoy. I've had people say, what kind of music? It's music that you enjoy, and not having a lot of distractions with that. I personally, as an art therapist, love the benefits of both music and art. I think you're tapping into more unconscious processes that is able to come out.
And it's so inspiring that we can do this on our own. Yes. Choose our favorite music. Just decide one day, there's a tree, I think I'll draw it.
Absolutely.
It's almost like the joy of a child, right? Oh, let's draw it, I thought it was fantastic. I was working with a lovely woman who had Alzheimer's disease in New Jersey.
And I asked about, she had drawn this picture and it just was kind of this pink square. And she said, well, this is the park. And I used to love watching the children play. I think as we get older, somehow we lose that fun and playfulness, don't you think? And I was like, yeah, we do. And we shouldn't have to. We don't need to lose that fun and playfulness. In fact, creativity is essential in our brain health.
Wonderful. Well, now that I've rediscovered you at our Life Quest event last January, I can think of a lot of things we want you to bring us. But let's talk about this one, Thursday, May 14th. What's going to happen if we come to spend this time with Angel Duncan?
I'd love to have everybody come. I have a great presentation of the scientific artistic brain and the benefits of creativity. I'm going to talk about what art therapy is, how it's beneficial in helping to form assessing diagnosis, discharge readiness, what people can do at home, being creative. And I have case studies showing how different art has actually helped people in their processes of going through different transitions, whether it's retirement, grieving process, a loved one has Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease. So I just have these fantastic case studies showing how art has been therapeutic in brain health.
It's wonderful. We are a very art-oriented community here. We have art classes, resident artists teaching, and to think that this is all so good for us. It's so
absolutely,
healthy.
It's essential. We need both. We need the science, but we also need the art.
That's fabulous. Well, I hope you'll take this opportunity to spend an hour and a half with Angel Duncan and to hear about art and the aging brain.
Kathy Miskell of Sandollar is this year's campaign chair for the Employee Christmas Fund Drive. Perhaps you've seen her on the program or read one of her articles in Shell Point Life magazine. Well, we decided to pay her a visit recently to learn more about this Shell Point resident. We enjoyed talking with Kathy, and she enjoyed being chatty with us.
I'm Kathy Miskell, and I've been at Shell Point about a year and a half. My husband's been here a little bit longer. He retired before I was quite ready, and so he came down and started living the life. I was born in New York City, worked on Wall Street, had a fine time, and then in about 1988 I went to Colorado, to Vail, for a 3-week ski vacation. And I succumbed to the sirens on the mountain, and I stayed for 25 years. And 6 years into that sojourn, I met my husband. And we married, and I joined him in his real estate business, and we had a wonderful time selling fabulous homes in Vail. It was great. Time came, he retired, I worked a little longer, but enough is enough. And so now I'm here, and I'm living the life too. When I was a little girl, about 5 or 6, my mother's aunt, her name was Aunt Lily, that's what we all called her, came to visit my mother at our apartment in New York City and spend the day. She traveled that day to New York from her home in the suburbs, where she lived with her husband and her son Jack, who was recently returned from military service in the Second World War. Being 5 years old and knowing full well that the world revolved around me, I assumed that Aunt Lily had come to see me. And so I brought out all my toys, and I told her all about the really good ones. And I told her about all the children in the neighborhood that we would get to play with. I sang, "I'm Conchita Banana, and I'm here to say." And we had a wonderful day. And at the end of the day, after promising me she'd come back for another visit, she went home, climbed the stairs to the attic where her son, who was now getting used to civilian life once again and was working on his invention upstairs in the attic. She went up to him and said, "Jack, you know that talking doll that you've been working on? I think I have a good marketable name for her. How about Chatty Cathy? And that's what happened. I was the original Chatty Cathy. So this is Chatty, and she's pretty cute. And the way it worked was that she has a record inside in her stomach and a pull cord in the back of her neck, and you would pull the cord all the way out, and she would say things like, "I love you, can we go play?" She did not sing "I'm Conchita Banana," but few of us can do that. But she was pretty wonderful and very successful.
Oh, Chatty Cathy, you're Mattel's famous talking doll. We pull the rings, and you say 11 different things. Let's play house. Please change my dress. We can change your dresses now, goodness knows. Now you've got a wardrobe full of pretty clothes. I love you. You love your mamas, and they love you sleepy time pajamas.
Just pull the ring. You never know what she'll say next.
Tell me a story. The only story now left to tell is a Chatty Cathy's made by Mattel.
You'll find Chatty Cathy and her costume sets wherever toys are sold.
You can tell it's Mattel, it's swell.
Chatty Cathy was really a perfect Christmas gift because you didn't open the box and then find out later that you needed batteries. It was a completely mechanical system. And you just pull the string, and the string or the wire wrapped around the record somehow or other. I'm not very mechanical myself. And that was all there was to it in terms of operating efficiency. So there were never batteries to replace. She had quite an extensive vocabulary. I think it started with 11 phrases, and then subsequent versions had as many as 18 phrases. So she knew how to talk. Years after the doll came out, my mother and I were taking a drive. It was one of my favorite things to do with my mother, was to go and take a drive and ask her about the old days. And she told me the story about Aunt Lily's visit, and that I was Chatty Cathy. And I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the name, I loved the name. And it was a happy thing to know, but it did not make me self-impressed, I think is the best way to say it. And so I didn't give that much thought to it. I wasn't dazzled by my own celebrity, probably because nobody was. And we just had our regular life, and the doll was the celebrity, which is as it should be. So it was just a happy memory. It was not really until I came to Shell Point and participated in Dr. Rambo's storytelling class. It was an 8-session class, marvelous. And we practiced telling stories. And I told my Chatty Cathy story. Not really thinking the world of it, but I'm in a milieu here where lots of people know who Chatty Cathy was. And so word got around, and I guess I'm enjoying celebrity late in life. I encountered the phrase a lot. And it's interesting, one of the Shell Point residents who I was speaking with just yesterday was describing her brother, and she said, you know, I can tell the minute he picks up the phone and says hello, whether he's not feeling cheerful or whether he's a Chatty Cathy that day. And so it's really a universal term. So I'm happy because my cousin was a brilliant guy. And I think more about him than anything to do with me. Jack My cousin Jack Ryan, very brilliant man, went on to invent another doll, the Barbie. But before the Barbie, there was the Chatty Cathy. I'm so proud of my cousin Jack because he had such a fertile mind and such a wonderful way of approaching things. He invented the Chatty Cathy, he invented the Barbie, and he did not leave the guys out because he did Hot Wheels too.
And now it's time for all the latest happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chandley, and I'm here with Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities that we have for you here at Shell Point today. We're going to start bright and early with the Health Connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's in the Health Club on the island. Pickleball will be at the pickleball court at 8 o'clock. And we also have the tennis players with their round-robin doubles tennis at 8 o'clock at the Woodlands tennis courts. At 8:15, the Stamp Ministry will be in the Stamp Room on the island. And bocce will be at the bocce courts at the Woodlands at 8:30. Also at 8:30, we have the Ladies Golf Association at the Shell Point Golf Club. We're going to move to 9:15 for open painting. That'll be down in the art studio in the tunnel. And then we have a 9:15 shuffleboard game down at the shuffleboard courts. Match play mixed doubles tennis will be at the Woodlands tennis courts at 9:30. Now from 10 until 12, the photo gallery and studio will be open for visiting. Our Suzy Q boat heads out at 10:15 to Grandma Dot's restaurant. You do need to sign up for that at the Island Greeter's Desk. And Through the Bible study group will be at the Osprey Room at 10:15. Also at 10:15, the Vision and Enrichment group will be in the Social Center. And our last morning activity is at 11:45 with the Life Quest Living Healthy. That's in the Osprey Room on the island. Now here's Caitlin. She'll go over the afternoon lineup for you.
Thanks, Bev. We are going to start with Mixed Progressive Bridge at 12:30 in the game room of the Woodlands. And at 1 o'clock, we have a Health Connections class, Fitness Room Orientation. That's down in the Health Club. We have a special presentation from the Colusa Heritage Trail at 1:15 in the Social Center. Also at 1:15, the Knitters group will be gathering in the Osprey Room. The Rollicking Recorderist will be in the Tarpon Room at 1:15. And our last 1:15 activity is Women's Ministries Prayer in the Manatee Room. At 1:30, another Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch in the Life Quest Aquatic Center. The Stamp Ministry will be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands at 1:30. And from 2 to 4 today, the photo gallery and studio will be open for viewing. That's down in the Island Tunnel. 2:45 is the time for another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 in the Health Club, and that's currently full. The Celebration Ringers Rehearsal will be in the Village Church, and that's in the choir room at 3:15. 4:15, we have Tai Chi Cha with Bev Chandley in the Health Club, and that's currently full. Well, those are all of our activities today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hi, I'm Terry Colath with your Academy information for Tuesday. At 9:30, Writing Your Memoirs on a Computer continues in the Computer Center at the Woodlands. At 9:45, Understanding Your Computer continues at the Technology Teaching Center on the island. Also at 10 o'clock, Phone Photography Workshop will continue in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. And at 10 o'clock, Iran, Its History and Today in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Sign-up is required. At 10:15, we have an iPad or iPhone walk-in clinic in the Manatee Room on the island. I'd like to tell you about a new class coming tomorrow. Russ Cray of Oakmont will present Fun on the Internet. As always, I'd like to thank everyone who volunteers for the auxiliary in our Larson Pavilion. Summertime's coming and people are starting to travel, so we're looking for some new volunteers who will continue our tradition of serving in the pavilion year-round. Please look at the back page of the weekly reminder for the auxiliary box, and all the information you need is right there.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is beef tips over egg noodles with stewed tomatoes. The dinner special is build your own stir fry for $13.95, and the soup of the day is loaded potato. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a barbecue chicken sandwich with coleslaw and chips for $7.25. The dinner special is your choice of a hot dog or a burger with a side salad, watermelon, and ice cream for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are yellowfin tuna for $18.95 or chicken saltimbocca for $13.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey, an assistant pastor. On Saturday, May 2nd, 2015, Prince William and his wife Catherine, the Duchess of Cambridge, became the proud parents of a baby girl. Then the suspense began. What would they call this fourth in line to the throne? Both those who won and those who lost the War of Independence seemed equally keen to know. In the United Kingdom, the betting parlours and general public declared their list of favourite names. What would it be? Finally, 2 full days later, her parents let the cat out of the bag. The 8-pound bundle of joy would be named Charlotte, the feminine version of her grandfather, Charles. Elizabeth, after the Queen, the baby's great-grandmother. And Diana, after William's late mother and the baby's grandmother. Her title would be Her Royal Highness Charlotte of Cambridge. But every baby is a special creation. Of course, whatever the name given, whatever the title, or no title. And so our names are important, because we are important, made in the image of God. In one of his parables, Jesus tells us that the only one of the flock of 100 sheep was lost, but the good shepherd searched until he found it and brought it back, rejoicing. Every one of us is a one, whatever our name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, observes Shakespeare's Juliet, trying to make out the names don't really matter. But it turns out the names mean a whole lot more than she wants to admit. What's in a name then? Well, a lot. Our names are significant, so much so that in the Bible, God himself chooses a name for John the Baptist, meaning God is gracious, and for his cousin Jesus of Nazareth, meaning God is salvation, for he shall save his people from their sins, the Bible explains. There are also a number of instances in the Holy Scriptures where God changes a person's name to give a new identity. He changed Abram's name, High Father, to Abraham, father of a multitude, and his wife's name from Sarai, my princess, to Sarah, mother of nations. God changed Jacob's name too, from supplanter to having power with God, Israel. He changed Simon's name from God has heard to Peter, rock. Our names are our identity. I have a social security number, a driving license number, and all kinds of other numbers, but my name is what really matters. It has to do with who I am at heart, and how I relate to others, and indeed to my Creator. To God, I'm not just another number. I'm a person with a name. The Bible tells us that the Good Shepherd calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And his sheep follow him because they know his voice. In fact, there are a number of instances in Holy Writ where God not only calls a person's name, he calls it twice, which would really get your attention. Abraham, Abraham, he called. Don't lay a hand on Isaac. Jacob, Jacob, don't be afraid to go down to Egypt. Moses, Moses, he called from the burning bush. Go, I'm sending you. I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. And then Samuel, God called to the young temple assistant who was lying down to sleep. Samuel, I am about to do something in Israel that will make the ears of everyone who hears about it tingle. God's doubling of names happened at the key turning points in the lives of these Old Testament heroes. And Jesus doubled the names of several in the New Testament too. Martha, Martha, Simon, Simon. And when the terrorist Saul was on the way to Damascus to arrest any followers of Jesus, the Lord called out to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? And it led to his becoming the great missionary to the Gentiles. So let's keep our ears open and our hearts tender so that we don't miss it if God calls our names with a life-changing word of instruction. Keep in mind the observation of Bishop Wellington Boone. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And thank you for tuning in to Village Church Connections.
Thanks for joining us today. Come back tomorrow when we'll head over to the Island Tunnel to check out the creativity happening with the scrapbooking and card-making group. Ruth Duber will serve up something delicious in her kitchen, and Terry Colath will talk to us about the Auxiliary Committee's summer needs. Until then, this is Shell Point Today for Tuesday, May 12th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you back again here tomorrow.